All right, so let's go over this because I have, like I said, gotten a lot of questions on what are the exact steps that you should be doing to find and close drivers and influencers on your team. And then, of course, what are all the tools that are available to everybody, and I mean everybody, to do just that. I'm not going to open this full screen because there's no reason to do that. It looks plenty fine the way it is right now. I'm sure you guys can all agree. There's nothing fancy that we need to do here. Let's just kind of roll up our sleeves and get down to the nitty gritty of how to do this thing, and how the most successful people in the organization and in our team are doing this. Okay, so first of all, who can use this system? Okay, and if you're, even if you're not on our team, the answer to that is anyone. Okay, the way that we have built this system is to have it available to absolutely anybody. Okay, I mean absolutely anybody can use this, and I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody for now. Okay, you can always unmute yourself when we get to Q&A. Okay, or at any given point, just go ahead and hit me with a chat question. I've got the chat open here. So if anybody does have any questions as I'm going through things. So, but I wanted to be really clear about this because I get this question all the time by text, by calls, by emails, by social media. I mean, people find our stuff all over the place, and I'm constantly getting this, hey, can I use your system? And absolutely, like there's no rocket science here. Okay, this is absolutely open to anybody. So the slides, if you're finding this on YouTube, if you're finding this wherever, okay, and you guys can also share this on your YouTube sites. Okay, if you want to like take this and put it out on your YouTube sites, I'm absolutely fine with that. None of this matters. What matters is that we grow the company, that we all make money, and we all have a lot of fun doing it, and spend good time together. So let's talk then about the agenda a little bit. So how do you find drivers and influencers first and foremost? What do you give them once you find them? Okay, so we're going to go through what specifically you give them once you find them. How do you follow up with them and close them? Okay, and then how do you teach them to do what you just did? Okay, so that's our gist of today's call and our gist of this entire business. Okay, it's really pretty straightforward. Okay, so first of all, how do you find drivers and influencers? And what we're really talking about is how do you find drivers? Drivers will become influencers, drivers will become drivers, drivers will become driver influencers. Okay, all three of those things happen, but I like to spend all of my time with just finding drivers first and let them decide what they want to do thereafter. Okay, as we all know, we don't get paid unless we are registering drivers on our team. Okay, that's how we make money from the Tryp system. Okay, so that's why I say go after the drivers first and let them decide what they want to do. So first of all, airports, hotels, downtown areas, okay? The people that are having the most success right now, and this is kind of our grassroots sort of effort that we're talking about. How do you do this in a grassroots kind of manner? Okay, is right there. Okay, there's no cost to do this except for printing the flyers and perhaps printing your business cards. Okay, but airport, hotels, downtown areas, that's where the drivers are. Okay, as I was just talking to Jarrett, Craigslist. I've used Craigslist an awful lot in this business, and I have created hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of leads directly from Craigslist. And what Jarrett shared with us just a moment ago was that he ran Craigslist ads during the most recent Uber and Lyft strike and absolutely crushed it. I mean, the amount of traffic that came to the website exceeded our normal organic traffic, which is usually around, I don't know, it's somewhere around maybe 500 or 600 clicks a day to the website. He exceeded that by a lot. So he really crushed it. We are using Instagram ads. Now the ads, the last three here on the page here, if you want to do any of these things, I want you to contact me and I will let you know how to do them most effectively and give you some tools to do them. Okay, unless you're somebody like Chase, who already went out and did this and has been very successful with it, and he and I have been exchanging notes on it. You know, if you've got some money that you want to invest in this, all right, contact me on these and I will let you know what we are doing to make this most successful. So, but we are having a lot of success with Instagram ads, with Facebook ads, and Google ads, all three areas we are working right now. So continuing on that. So what do you give them? So this is our how to find them. This is what we're doing right now. And if this changes, obviously that's why we're on these calls. That's why I record them. We are always going to update what's working best next. All right. What do you give them once you find them? Okay. First and foremost, use our tools section of our website, okay? And any new tools that we develop always show up here, okay? And our favorite right now is our driver flyer, okay? You've seen this before if you've been around for a while, okay? So I'm going to come back to this in just a second. We're going to show you some screenshots of this, okay? Our driver flyer directs them to our driver website, okay? And I'll show you a screenshot on that in a second, okay? It also allows you on that page to create any of our links to our different tools that are available, and then as well the Tryp business card. Okay, so I'm going to go through each one of these individually of what to give them afterwards. Okay, on our driver flyer, if you go through right now on this, okay, I'm not going to do it right now just because I want to stay on the slides here. Okay, but that tryprideshare.info/tools will lead you to this particular form, okay, that creates our driver marketing flyer. All right, all you do is you put in your Tryp ID. If you don't know what your Tryp ID is or you don't know how to find it, okay, there's a little video right there. Click that video. It'll teach you how to find your Tryp ID. Okay, and then you put in your telephone number. Okay, and we don't save the telephone number here, by the way. Okay, this goes on to the flyer. Okay, what this does is it generates an image that you're then able to print and cut into 4 pieces, as you can see here, okay? So what you want to do is print this out onto a piece of paper and then slice it into 4. Now you've got 4 individual flyers that you can hand to people that are drivers. Now, I know a lot of people have asked us, can you do one for the riders? Yes, that's coming, okay? But right now we're focused on the drivers, okay? So let's just stay extremely focused on the drivers, knowing that that's coming, that's fine, okay? On this flyer, there's a few things that I have circled here. First of all, there's a QR code that goes to our driver page, okay? There's also a shortened URL by bit.ly that also goes to our driver page and your telephone number. So this is what I was saying, that we don't save your number here, okay? It goes on to the flyer so that people can call you if they have any more questions, okay? So it's extremely important, okay? And these things are absolutely crushing it, okay? Now, here's what I suggest is that when you hand them out, when I first started doing this, I was a little afraid, okay, to be honest with you. I was like, and I would just give them to everybody as fast as I could. Now I stand there and I say, hey, you got any questions? Now, they are always, attention drivers earn 100% of the fare and tip. They're always immediately interested when they see this flyer. I mean, I have very few drivers that hand them back to me. Very, very, very few. Okay. But they usually have questions. And the goal, if you can, is to get them to set up an account right then and there. Okay, this is really important. We'll be talking more through this, okay? If you can get them right then and there to set up a free Tryp account, you are golden in your ability to continue to communicate with them, because that is what makes that's the most important thing. The end goal here is to get them onto our automated webinar. Okay, that's the end goal. We also want to get as many touches as we can with them, because that's going to help them to understand, yes, this is a real thing. Yes, I can earn 100% of the income. Yes, this is not a scam, okay? We want them to understand all that stuff. And the way they're going to get there most quickly is by getting them to our webinar. Okay, our webinar is closing drivers better than anything else we have at this point. So I just want you to fixate in your mind, get them to our webinar. Okay, how do you do that? Okay, we also have on our drivers tools site, okay, or on our influencer tools site. So this same site that we were just on with this from this URL, okay, we have the ability to generate links to our website. And what that does is it's going to generate a number of links. So again, figure out how to get to your Tryp ID. If you don't know how to do that, okay, we just said we've got this video. Where's our video? We got this video, okay, right above this page, all right? Click this, put your Tryp ID in there, and click Generate My Links. What happens is that our site then creates a number of personalized links to all the different tools that we have available for you to use at this point. Okay, the first is what I was talking about. All right, so the last is what I was just talking about, the automated webinar right down here at the bottom. Okay, so that's one that you'll want to have on your phone. You want to have all these links on your phone to be able to give to somebody at any given point. Okay, I recommend, as I've done in previous trainings, is to have that in a notes app somewhere on your phone. All the phones have them. Okay, we all have smartphones now. Okay, no one's open flip phones anymore. So have this information right there on your phone so that you can send to people. And sometimes I do it right there on the spot. Okay, I'm talking to a driver. I'm in a car. I'm like, hey man, I'm going to send you something right now. Bing! I send it to them right there. Did you get it? Okay, because I'll get their information. I'll get their cell phone number right there on the spot. Okay, so I don't have any problem doing that. Okay, but you want to have all this readily available. So you can use our entire website. So you can send somebody to our entire website, the entire triprideshare.info site. It'll capture your trip ID and save it in every single page on every single page in our entire website. Okay, you can send them to our driver's site. Okay, like we talked about. Okay, there's the drivers. Okay, you can and a lot of people ask me what happens if they register and put their name and their cell phone number and their email address in our site. Then the emails come from you. They come from our site with your trip ID on all the emails. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so anything that comes from them now from that point on, okay, is with your information. If they click on it, they register under you. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time getting that really well set up. And then our automated webinar. Okay, and the automated webinar, as I already said, that's the end goal. That's where you want to get them to, because that is going to help them to better understand the entire business model of Tryp and how they can interact and be a part of it. Okay, so that's super duper important. All right, we also have the business cards are back up. So in your influencer back end, if you click links and you click resources, okay, you'll now see that there's a new page there. And if you haven't seen this yet, it's similar to what the old one looked like if you've been around for a while. If you're completely new, this is where you find your business cards. Okay, it's an image. It's an image that you're able to type into. It's a PDF that you're able to type into. So download both of those, the back and the front. Okay, and I'm just going to somebody unmuted here. So I'm going to mute everybody again. There we go. So download the back and the front. All right. Once you have them up, okay, you're able to fill in these areas that I have circled here. Okay. So on the front, you want to just basically click there and start typing your name. Use whatever email address you want. It does not matter. I get people asking me all the time, oh, should I get like a fancy email? I'm like, no. Just use your email. Don't worry about it, okay? You're going to want to put your Tryp referral code in here, okay? And that's on just about every page in your influencer backend. We'll have your Tryp referral code on the bottom, okay? Use your cell phone number here because you want them to be able to text and call you, okay? Now on the back, we have this ability to put in a URL, okay? What I recommend is using the signin.tryprides.com URL, okay? And then where it says !RE equals, right after that, you put in your personal Tryp ID code. Now, the newer people that are registering as influencers are able to create their own Tryp ID. Okay, so for those of us that have been around for a while and have it Tryp Bill 603 like mine is, okay, that's what I would put in there. But the newer people are able to create their own Tryp ID. And I'm not sure if they're going to give us the ability to do that for the older people that have been around for a while or not. But whatever it is, okay, it's in your back end, all right? It's in your back end, and that video that I created will teach you how to get to it, okay? Now, with these, you can just send them to Office Depot. You can send them to Vistaprint. You can send them to Staples, wherever, okay? They're easy to print, okay? Get about 100, okay? You don't need to go crazy. You don't need to go order 5,000 or anything like that, all right? But just have them available and carry them at all times, all right? And they look really fantastic, guys. They're really good-looking cards. As you can see there on the screen, they really are pretty good-looking cards, okay? So that's really important. Now, let's talk about how to talk to drivers, okay? And I know this seems a little rudimentary, But a lot of you have been coming to me and saying, Bill, what do I say? Or here's what I've been saying. I'll go, blah, 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 like, no, there's some basic things that you need to understand, okay? First of all, point one, drivers are getting hosed by Uber and Lyft. Absolutely hosed, okay? The drivers are downright pissed off. Okay, so that's something that, just understand that and just go, okay, got it. All right. They're upset. So therefore, all you need to say right out the gate is, would you like to earn 100% of the fare, tip, wait, and cancellation charges? And then shut up and see what they say. That's it. That's all I ever say to a driver. Hey, would you like to earn 100% of the fare and tip? Okay. And they say, yeah, how do I do that? Okay, next step. Okay, let me get you set up with a free Tryp account. Now, there's going to be some questions in the middle. Okay, there are always a few questions. Okay, and if you watch our automated presentation, you'll have all the questions you could possibly need to answer right there. Okay, they're all right there. So go ahead and watch the presentation. Make sure you understand that. But there's not a whole lot of questions that they have beyond, how does that work? Okay, how do I make that money? Okay, what's it going to cost me? Okay, all these basic things that you need to understand. Okay, but what we're looking to do right there is number 3. Let's get you set up with a free Tryp account right now. Right now. Okay, and you can do that right off the flyer. Okay, so right off the flyer, have them go to the bottom, have them click that button, have them go over to Tryp, put in their email address, put in their cell phone number, and create an account right then and there. Now, why do we want to do this? A, because they're always going to be locked into us forever. So if they ever upgrade with you present, with you not present, anywhere in the future, they upgrade under you. You make the $50 and they become a part of your team. Okay, so that's really, really important. Okay, so you make the $50, they're in your team, no matter what. Okay, because they're locked in by their cell phone number to you and your email to you. All right, so that's why we want to do that. We want to, if we can, just get them set up right then and there. And they do this all the time. And you guys that are on the call right now that have been doing this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just walk right up. Hey, let's get you set up right now. Now, why? Because I want to send you some information once we do, which explains the entire business model. Okay, and what are we going to send them? We're going to send them the automated webinar. Okay, you see how this is now circling together. Okay, and simplistically circling together. Okay, so that's how we talk to drivers. Okay, now how do we follow up with them at this point? Okay, so now we've got them. Hopefully we've set up an account for them. Okay, if not, we've got a cell phone number for them. Whatever we can get. Okay, like I said, I like to text them right away, and I will text them directly to the automated webinar. That's what I will quite often text them, is just go, hey, I've got this great webinar which will explain all of your questions all in one shot. Okay, if you give me your cell phone number, I'll send it to you right now. Okay, it's about 25 minutes long. Okay, so super, super easy. So get their cell phone numbers, first of all. Okay, text them a link to the automated webinar. Okay, you can also send them to the driver page, which comes off of the flyer. Okay, that's another excellent place to get them, because if they set up an account where they're going to show up, they're going to show up in your back end in your contacts tab, which I'm going to show you in a second. Okay, give them the flyer and business cards. That's how we're following up. Okay, but we want to get their information, if we can, into the system. Okay, and then we can get their information from the contacts tab for follow-up. Okay, and hopefully real soon in the future, they're going to have a system by which we can automatically create a follow-up to the automated webinar right from inside Tryp. Okay, so I know that they're working on that, and maybe by the time that you're watching this video, you'll be like, well, Bill, that's already there. Okay, now one thing I like to really do, because I get a ton of questions from my phone. Okay, every time I talk to somebody, I turn to this. Okay, every time I get a text from somebody, I turn to this. Okay, I turn to this for when I'm on my computer emailing people. Okay, these are where all my answers come from. And I did a training on this a few weeks ago on just using the notes and all the different answers that we have available to us. Okay, so go find that training, and it's in your influencer quick start guide if you've already gotten that from us. Okay, and now I'm starting, as you can see here, I'm starting to put in Spanish stuff. Okay, I'm starting to put in, because I get so many calls because we're advertising a lot in South Florida. Okay, and when I get a call in Spanish, I do speak Spanish, so I will explain everything that I can, and then I will follow up with Spanish stuff, which is, questions, how to get to the automated webinar. All that sort of stuff is now in Spanish on my notes as well, too. So I highly suggest you get organized so that you can easily send people. And again, okay, if you're right in front of a driver, hey, let me send you some information right now. Bam, cut and paste. Bam, right out of there. Cut and paste. Cut and paste. Send it right to them. Okay, be organized. Okay, be able to do this quickly. And I always ask them, did you get it? You got it? Okay, great. So go watch that webinar. That will really explain everything. And again, the webinar has your Tryp ID all built into it from the link that's created by our site. So I'm hoping that you really understand that, and know how important that is. Okay. How do you get their information from the influencer back office is the next thing. Okay, so if you have done this, okay, if you have gotten them, hang on a second, if you've gotten them to set up a free Tryp account, number 3 there, okay, they show up in the contacts tab, okay, in your influencer back office. Okay, so if you haven't clicked through to this, you'll see that they have all their information is there. Okay, so now I've graded out, because obviously this is going to be going on the internet, and we don't want to, Danielle probably doesn't want a bunch of calls from people or texts from people. Okay, but with you click that little blue arrow, it has all their information. It has their email address, it has their phone. You're able to then easily contact those people and do what? Send them to the webinar. Okay, that's the goal, is get them to the webinar. The webinar does all the heavy lifting for you. Okay, super important. Okay, and how do you get the webinar link? Okay, way back at the beginning of today's presentation, I said, hey, use our website, the tools portion of our website, to get that information. Okay, and when somebody comes through and puts in their name, email address, cell phone number, okay, and chooses a date, okay, they can watch the webinar right now, an instant replay, or it shows every day at 1 p.m. or 9 p.m. in their local time. Okay, so 1 p.m. and 9 p.m. in their local time, which is the best time to reach drivers, and that's when they're sort of off the road most of the time. That's why we do it at those times. Okay, so that's super, super important. And we do update this thing. The actual presentation there, we do update it. So we're about to update it with all the most recent changes and all the new driver information. Okay. And again, here's where you get that link, right? This is, I just put this in here to remind me, okay? That's your personal link to the automated webinar after you've created those links on our site. Okay. Now, I threw this slide in because it's important, okay? With Tryp, we have the opportunity to change thousands of people's lives. And that is a rare opportunity in any business. Okay, it really is. So I just want you to really fully understand that, man, this thing is special. Okay, there are a lot of drivers out there that not only are they pissed off, but they're hurting. They're getting hurt in a business that has helped them a lot. Okay, so we're swinging that pendulum. Okay, we are swinging that pendulum back to helping a bunch of people. And that's pretty special. It really is. All right. It's really, really special. So just sort of let that sink in a little bit. Let that be a motivator for you, if nothing else, that, hey, you're in an awesome opportunity. This is an awesome opportunity to help a lot of people. So pretty cool. And in a second here, I'm going to show you some of the new tools. So I'll switch the share. Okay. This is always important to me. Okay. What are the next steps? So, hey, take action now. Okay. I mean, I don't know how much I can possibly say that. For those that have been on the receiving end of my phone call, when I say, you know what, shut up and take action. Okay. I mean that with the most amount of love that I can possibly conjure. Okay. If you're calling me and you get that that's the receiving message you get, it's because you need to stop thinking about this thing and go take action. So take action is just the absolute best thing you can do. So email me with questions, okay? And I'm very serious about this. This is why I always put my email address out there, okay? There'll be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that'll watch this on YouTube, okay? You can email me, please, okay? That's important, okay? If you're already on someone's team, don't email me that question. I can't help you. You're already on somebody else's team. You can't get on ours. Love to have you, but that's not the way it works, okay? So any questions that you have. Now, some cool things that I want to point out to you, and go ahead and just unmute yourself if you do have a question at this point and interrupt me at any time. And I'm going to pull up this new share. Hold on a second. Let me first switch it off of here. So let's just share a few different things here. All right. Do you guys see the tools page right now? Is that good? Just give me a nod if you do. Yeah. Okay, cool. So here's our tools page. This is what I was just talking about. Here's our how to find your ID. Okay, real simple. You're just going to put in your Tryp ID. You're going to put in your phone number. That submitting that creates the driver flyer. Here's the generate links to our site. Okay, you put in your Tryp ID here. Okay, click the create links, and we're off and running. So it's very, very simple to do. Okay, the flyer itself takes them to this page. Okay, so when they either scan the QR code or put in the URL that's on there, the shortened URL, this is about as much information as they can possibly want, okay? And then at the bottom here is this click here to set up your free Tryp account, and that is going to your specific Tryp ID, okay? So if somebody uses that, that goes to your Tryp ID every single time, which is really cool. People ask all the time about this number here. I answer this phone. Okay, and Stacy answers this phone. Okay, and this is important because I know that most people don't have the time that I do. All right, I work from my home office. I don't answer to anybody. Okay, and I work all day long. All right, so I answer these calls all the time. Okay, and my question to them is, okay, great. What website are you on? Oh, you got a flyer from somebody? Oh, fantastic. Okay, so you see at the bottom of that website where it has that big button to click here to set up your free Tryp account? Yes. Okay, go do that. And then I will actually walk them through setting up a Tryp account under you. Okay, I do this 3-4 times a day at least. I mean, at least. Okay, sometimes a lot more than that. And if they leave me a message, I'm going to call them back. Okay, and to get them signed up, because I know that's what's going on. Now, at some point, Stacy and I have said we're going to probably set up a call center to do this, so it gets answered 24 hours a day. Okay, once things really start rocking, that 800 number there is going to go to a call center, and a live person will answer that and walk them through how to do this. That way, you guys can rest assured that the leads that you're creating and the people you're talking to are being taken care of. So this is what I was talking about in the back end. If you click the links that I showed in the slides, okay, we have a number of different things in here. This continues to grow. This is where your business cards are. The comp plan specifics are in here, and this new thing, which is super cool, a driver guidebook. Okay, the way I'm already starting to use this. Okay, again, so I have now created a link on my phone in my notes section of the driver guidebook. This has everything you could possibly imagine as far as questions and answers for drivers now. This thing is really an awesome tool, okay? It explains absolutely everything, okay? I get this question all the time, okay? Are you gonna have different levels of rides? Bam, they've come out with it, okay? They're planning on launching it with, which is really cool. So this thing will answer just about any question a driver could possibly have about how Tryp is going to work for them. All right. Again, it's in your back end. It's in your back office, in your resources of your back office. So go links, okay, and resources of your back office. That's where this thing's located. It's called the driver guidebook. All right. The comp plan specifics is another thing that's on here too. that's very helpful, and they have already updated. If you have been sort of paying attention, okay, they've already updated in here how a customer enrolls, and we now have 3 different levels for how a driver can potentially drive. Okay, we've got side hustle, 20 rides a month. We've got part-time, and we've got full-time. Okay, so that's already in there, and they're updating how we get paid out on that. It's going to be a little bit different of a structure. So, but very, very cool. They're getting, they're continuing to be really, really organized around these tools, which will help you better and serve you better in your business. All right, so that's really, really important. Okay. And I can't tell you, like, the couple times already since they came out with this that I've sent this to drivers, are like, wow, that's fantastic. That was exactly what I was looking for. That's very helpful. And again, follow up, get them onto the automated webinar. Okay, so if you've heard nothing else in this presentation, okay, get them to the automated webinar. That's the only thing you have to remember. Okay, create your link on our tools page and get them to the automated webinar. Okay, that's where things are happening. That's where our systems close people for you. Okay, and again, how do we then sort of go back and replicate this? Okay, we invite them here. We get them on as influencers and invite them here. It's just that simple. Okay, and I'm hoping that has a lot of clarity for you too. So let's go ahead and open up all the phones. If anybody has any questions, this is a fantastic time to ask those questions.
Okay, Bill, I just got started maybe about a week ago, and I've been in the back office, but I can't find the flyer. I know you just need to.
The flyer is not in the back office. That's only on our website, which is the triprideshare.info site/tools. So that's where you want to get that. So triprideshare.info/tools with an S. That's where the flyer exists. That's a great question, Ben. Thank you for that.
I'm just getting a pen. You said Trip?
Yeah, so it'll be on in the notes for this. I'm going to send the notes out as soon as the video for this call today gets compiled. I'll send all that out. It'll be in the notes section as well. Okay. So, and if you received a text or an email or both from me, I'll send both of those out following this as well, too. Okay. Jared, you want to tell us a little bit about? Not everybody was here at the beginning, and I'm not sure if I'm going to use the very beginning. I might cut that out. How has Craigslist worked for you recently, my friend?
Well, I managed to use the news where the Uber drivers was going on strike on the 8th of May, and I just sent in the areas that they were striking. I just sent some Craigslist posts, and that's why I managed to get most of the signups from in the areas of California. I guess it was Chicago, Philly, Boston. That was pretty much it, with a little tweak of the language, and that's it.
That was amazing.
And very, very smart on Jarrett's part. He took advantage of what was going on in the marketplace. I'm going to see if I can show you real quick what Jarrett was able to do, and I'm sure Jarrett would be interested in this too. But he absolutely annihilated it as far as traffic goes. Hang on a second. I hadn't planned on getting to this, guys. So do we have any other questions that I can answer while I'm looking for this?
I got a question. How does the plans, the recent plans that they have, what's the relations to the compensation plan? Like, is there any relations to the compensation plan with the 2 newer plans that they added to the drivers?
I'm sure there is going to be. I honestly don't know yet. Stacy, have you been following that a little bit more closely than I am? Stacy and I have both been traveling and all over the place. Have you followed that a little bit more closely?
I think he left.
Oh, did he get dropped?
Yeah, he probably dropped.
Okay. I'm sure that it's going to. I just don't know what that effect is going to be yet. I did do a quick read through the comp plan, the most recent one, and I did not see anything that jumped out at me at this point. I can't imagine that there's not going to be a little bit of an adjustment to that, but maybe not. I mean, maybe not. That would be fantastic if there's no adjustment at all to it. So,
Yeah,
but
because
but I do love it that they're doing it. That I've been talking to them a lot about, hey, I think we need some different levels. We need some different on ramps for people. So I was really, really excited to see that. But unfortunately, like the last 2 weeks, I literally have been a blur for me. So I need to go back and look at the corporate calls and see exactly how those things are going to fill out.
Yeah, because they never disclose any like differences, with the two plans added. They
Yep.
never
Yep.
told us anything. Like I don't even know how this going to be structured, since that took effect.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, like I said, I think it's just a fantastic idea, and it definitely needed to happen. I just don't know how it's going to flesh out. So I'll let you know.
I got another question too.
Go ahead.
I noticed that in the back office, like, you was telling us about communicating with the downline, and you were saying that, like, shoot the webinar to them. And I noticed it's a little bit, more difficult because we don't have like a email, message blast to all the, to all the people that we have in our downline. It's not really easy. You have to take it, individually, go back and forth just to, send them an email instead of like having it all in the back office. Is that going to clear up like sometime soon?
Absolutely. I know that for sure. That is on their list of things to do. And obviously it, very, very much so needs to happen. So the way that it's been explained to me, and I've talked it through with the CMO, with David, is we will be able to basically have automated messages that come out of the Tryp system so that we won't have to do any of that. So as soon as they kind of create their account, then they'll get whatever message that we want to send to them immediately sent to them. So I know that that's absolutely coming. I know that they're working on it. And I agree. That'll make things a lot easier.
Yes. Individually, I could not send all those messages to him individually. It'd be like a day every day.
Yeah, no, it's definitely something that we want to automate for sure. So, and here I was able to pull up the Google Analytics for the website, and there was a time period there where if you look at this number one there, that's sort of all the organic traffic coming to the front page. There was a time there where Jarrett's, who's now number 2 right here, he was above our number 1, which is always this. The very front page of the site. So, and that might be a little small for you guys, I know, but I was shocked, Jared, when I saw this. I'm like, "Whoa, Jared, what are you doing, man?" Because he literally leapfrogged, all the traffic that we were getting. So, and as you can see, we get a lot of traffic here, 24,000 page views in the last 30 days. So, I was I was extremely surprised by that, Jared. That's as I'm sure you were when your phone started ringing off the hook. And do you have Jared? Do you have an idea of how many people signed up during that time period? Do you have any idea how many Tryp accounts were set up?
Like, I guess from that day, it had to be at least 40 to 50 people on that 8th, on the 8th of May.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man.
I seen it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very, very clever of you. So everybody take note, take advantage of situations when they're occurring like that. And for those that haven't yet talked to a driver yet, so let's say you're just in this boat where I've not even talked to a single driver yet, okay? I can guarantee you that every single driver that you're going to talk to, let me take it back. Every single driver that I've talked to at this point is unhappy. I mean, every single one, okay? Now I get a lot of people who are calling me, so that's a different scenario because they're taking action with their unhappiness. But every time I'm in, and I take rides fairly often. Every time I'm in a car, first thing out of my mouth is, "Hey, would you be interested in earning 100% of the fare?" They're like, "Yeah," because I'm really unhappy with what's going on. Like Uber and Lyft are screwing me. So they are. It's a really easy conversation, guys. It just really is. It's an easy conversation. The timing could not be more perfect. So, all right. Do we have any other questions, guys? Good time to ask. All righty. Let's wrap it up then. Go to work. Email me if you have any questions. Text, call, whatever. If you have any questions at all as you guys are working through things. Like always, I really appreciate your time. Appreciate that we can spend Friday together. For those that are watching this online, hey, go take action. Guys, have a great weekend. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. And we will see you next week. Take care, guys.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
You
Take
bet.
care.